At the latest discussion, we mentioned that IP law can sometimes be a barrier for other creators to be creative, and also it causes harm to the society. Therefore, in some cases, people can use others' intellectual products without permission and/or payment of royalty, and that rule is called fair use. So, what is fair use? The fair use doctrine recognizes that rigid application of intellectual property laws in certain circumstances is unreasonable or may stifle creativity and inappropriately prevent others from creating the original products that would hurt the public. Thus, the doctrine allows people to use someone else's copyrighted work without permission under certain circumstances. According to Locke's philosophy, whatever property is the fruit of someone's labor, that person has the right to own it. However, the above theory is not completely suitable for the type of intangible assets, the typical product of intellectual labor. It is undeniable that intellectual products contribute enormously to the development of mankind. However, it cannot be denied that, to a certain extent, intellectual property rights will negatively affect society. Protecting intellectual property rights can lead to a monopoly situation, which leads to increased transaction costs in society. The cost of those who want to own or use these intellectual products. At that time, the monopolist will push up the price of the product, causing the consumer to suffer because they have to pay for the product at a cost sometimes higher than the benefit they can get from the product. For example, if this video was protected by IP right and we charged anyone using it $10, Miss Leha would have to pay $10 when she showed it to 3 of her students, who would also have to pay $10 if they wanted to use this video. However, because Miss Leha may suffer from a loss when she uses this video, as the benefit from introducing this video to her students may be less than $10, the chance is high that Miss Leha won't be using it in her lecture. Therefore, instead of receiving $40, we would get nothing, and this informative video wouldn't be widespread. This causes damage to the public. So the economists come up with the idea of fair use, which allows Ms. Leha in this situation to reduce the cost by $10 and her students to reduce the cost by $30. It may seem like we, the creators, have lost $40, but the society has saved $40, and the information from this video has been successfully conveyed to everyone.
So, how is fair use determined? The Copyright Act of the US provides a framework for determining whether something is fair use. It calls for consideration of the following 4 factors in evaluating a question of fair use. The first one is purpose and character of the use, including whether the use is a commercial nature or is for non-profit educational purposes. The next factor is the nature of the copyrighted work. This factor analyzes the degree to which the work that was used relates to the copyright's purpose of encouraging creative expression. Thus, using a more creative or imaginative work, such as a novel, movie, or song, is less likely to support a claim of a fair use than using a factual work, such as a technical article or news item. Another factor is amount and substantiality of the portion used in relation to the copyrighted work. The final major factor is the effect of the use upon the potential market or the value of the copyrighted work. Here, courts review whether or to what extent the unlicensed use harm the existing or future market for the copyrighted owner's original work. So how are fair use determined in Vietnamese law? The Vietnamese law lists a series of cases where the published works may be used without having to seek permission or pay royalties. In all the cases above, the individuals who use the work must not affect the normal use of such work, and provide information such as the author's name and source and origin to the work, and shall not apply to architectural works, plastic works, and computer programs.
In this part, we will answer some common myths regarding fair use. First question is, does fair use take effect when one giving credit to the author or posting a disclaimer along with their work? None of these acts would immediately grant you the fair use protection. Such phrase as all rights go to the author also does not automatically mean you have the copyright owner's permission, since the argument on fair use centers around whether your work is transformative or not. A mere non-transformative copy from the original material would not be considered as fair use. The same goes with posting a disclaimer. The second question, any work contains copyrighted material if it used for non-profit purpose shall be protected under fair use? Well, it's not likely. When court conduct fair use analysis, all four factors will be weighted and taken into determining the work. Being non-profit only implies that your work satisfies one factor, which is the purpose and the character of your use. However, it is not necessary to prevail on each of the four factors for a successful fair use claim. The next question, do fair use works must be intellectual and educational? Although non-profit or academic use often have good claims to be considered fair, they are not the only ones. A new work can be commercial, even highly commercial, in intent and effect, and still invoke fair use. Most of the cases in which courts have found unlicensed use of copyright works to be fair have involved projects designed to make money, including some of that actually have.
Reviewing is a common way to promote a movie and lure customers to pay for it. So reviewing movies is so popular that it has become a new genre of content on the internet. Anyone can give a thought on the motion picture that they watch, and they can even earn money from this activity. So, what is a movie recap? First of all, we know that things have changed. Our watching experience is not the same anymore. We are more busy and have less time to enjoy our favorite movies than we used to. It was because of this behavior that a new genre of content was created. Movie recap. This genre of video originated from China and Japan. They collect movie highlights and hire content creators to write a recap of the movie. After these videos went viral on the internet, other countries downloaded, translated the script, and put an artificial intelligent voice to it. Reposts, and it went viral again. Instead of spending all night to finish a piece of art, now you can watch a dozen of them within an hour. So the summaries are literally everywhere on the internet. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and we can tell that people really love this way of entertainment, as the view count and interaction are always sky high. Does it follow fair use rule? We love these videos because they save us a lot of time, but we seem to forget one thing, that this is illegal. At first sight, we may think that this is under fair use rule. Fair use is a US law that allows the reuse of copyright protected material under certain circumstances without getting permission from the copyright owner. For short, fair use is the law that allows people to repost with non-commercial use only. It ensures that the content creator earn money from this activity or not. So according to Clause 7, Article 828 of Intellectual Property Law, Among these acts of copyright infringement, there are acts. First, making a derivative work without the permission of the author, the copyright owner, to the work used to make the derivative work, except in the case of transferring the work into Braille or another language for the user, for example, blind, deaf. Second, using the work without permission of the copyright owner, without paying royalty, remuneration, or other material benefits as prescribed by law, except in case of converting the work into Braille or another language for the visually impaired. Thus, except for the case of transferring the work into Braille or another language for the visually impaired, the making of any derivative work must be authorized by the author or the owner of the original work. In addition, the review of films does not fall under the use case of publicated work that do not require permission, do not have to pay royalty and remuneration, and also do not fall under the cases of using published work without applying for permission, but must pay royalty and remuneration according to the regulations. Therefore, it can be concluded that a new movie review that discloses all or part of the existing movie content is a form of infringement of the right of the owner of the work. According to a survey by a film and anime trade group in Japan, there were about 2,100 summary video posted by 55 accounts in the past year. It is estimated that the damage cost up to 95.6 billion yen. So it would be about 90,800 billion dong at a time when the film industry is struggling with the pandemic. So how to stop the trend? In Japan, the police first arrested 3 suspects for uploading summaries, video, and movie commentary without copyright. Miyagi Prefecture Police on June 24th arrested 3 people, 2 men and 1 woman, for illegally violating the intellectual property law on copyright. These 3 people arbitrarily cut the scene and posted on YouTube in July 2020. The video is about 10 minutes long. According to NHK, they can collect advertising money from this behavior. In China, in April, 7 Film and Drama Association, 54 film company, video platform like QQ, IQE, or Youku, and more than 500 artists made joint recommendation on rectifying the state of access, a social network account that infringe movie copyright in the form of short video summary. After that, the director of the country Copyright Administration said that with the development of digital and mobile internet, short video platform explode, leading to serious piracy. Authority will tighten management of violation in this platform.